You draw the line at brains. I draw the line at testicles. I won't eat testicles.
I doubt that I would eat those either, but
yeah, that feels like brains and testicles are. It's like especially kind of fucked
those
up.
are the kind of things you would eat drunk. Like you'd be like, yeah, what the fuck?
I want IHOP. I've never been like, yo, let's go get some bowl balls. I'm like, let's go get some pancakes. I am not gonna get bowl balls.
That's why I don't drink.
I mean, but Decareaux made a movie himself pretty recently.
Oh yeah,
Cannibal
Spectre.
Spectre.
Running around the parking lot with Dusty and him, like shooting. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Good? It was good.
I think it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, also,
how many movies have you made?
That's the only one. First one, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How was your first like chunk of jokes that you wrote in comedy?
What do you want to know the jokes?
No. I just wonder how they are. Were they good?
No,
were they, really
they were
good?
not good.
Okay, but you think the first movie is killing it?
I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, it maybe not, but I'm more proud of it than I am like the first set of jokes.
Oh, yeah?
But it's different too, because like
did it turn out better than you thought it would turn it out?
Yeah. Well, at first I was like, this fucking sucks or whatever, but then like I don't know, the more like I thought about it, more watched it, and saw like other people kind of like laughing at it.
Cool.
I was like,
And
made me
enjoying
appreciate.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it made me appreciate it more. But like the first, I mean, like it's different. The first set of like jokes I did, it was like I didn't spend like half a year like crafting those first set of jokes. You know what I mean?
So
It's
you did on this. Like, how much time did you put in this?
It was like 8 months. Yeah, spent like 8 months like conceptualizing it, filming it, and editing it. So
Also, you're a lot nicer to yourself when you have other people involved, because it's like, well, I
Yeah.
love these people, I like these people. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna criticize. You don't criticize it the same way. Probably.
exactly, yeah. Because like with the first set of jokes is like that's all you, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's all you and audience reaction. With this, it's like you had like other people involved. You know, you got other insights, other components going on.
Right.
Like I made it, and then like
what was the most surprising and hard part?
hard part I would say is probably like what is it? Getting people together. That sucks.
That
Like
was worse than
it's
Blank
hard.
Page.
no, blank page because like I kind of had like an idea already a little bit, but like I guess like bringing that to life or whatever was hard too. But I would say it sucked because I had to like reschedule a lot. Like I tried to get like Dusty in on something,
Right.
and like something would come up and like we couldn't do it, and I was just trying to get it done like as soon as possible because I remember like originally it was going to be like a 10-minute short or something.
Right,
And I thought
I
I could.
remember that.
I thought I could do it in like a month. It was so stupid. I had no idea what I was getting into.
Right.
So it's like 7 months later. It's like I'm still working on it. I'm still like, and also I had no idea what I was doing too. So I was like constantly adding to it and stuff. So I'd be like, it's like I got all these other scenes, but then I'd realize like, oh shit, I need like this other scene to like make this make sense. Or
yeah.
like I would just have an idea. I'm like, I think that would. So it was like I
So
was.
you think the next one will take 7 months? Because
Hopefully, ideally.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you'll slowly get faster at it. You know?
Ideally, yeah. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
You will. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, the editing was really hard too, just because like I didn't know how to do that.
That's what I mean. Next time it'll be a little
easier. Yeah,
So you taught yourself all this stuff. Like it's like I think I relate it to like when I bought my house and then we're in. It's like okay, I gotta change out all the electrical outlets. And
Yeah.
then I gotta fix this leak under the sink. That should be easy. It's just blah blah blah. No, they don't sell this here. I gotta go to the special store. And then
Yeah,
it
it's like
always
a
takes
quest.
1,000 times longer than
Yeah.
I think it's gonna take.
Yep. You fix one thing that's like you need the thing to fix that thing, and then that takes you down like a different thing. Like you see like everything wrong with.
I think it's also like when you do something for the first time, you're like, oh, this is all going to be fun. I'm going to do this. It's going to be awesome. And then you realize what it takes to do that thing. And then you're like,
Yeah.
And then you change the way you do it next time. And then maybe you sacrifice something to make you're not go insane.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to quit so many times. I was just like, this would just be another shelf project or whatever. But
I don't know, there's something too like it doesn't matter. I'm going to get through it.
Yes. And that's kind of what I was like trying to do. But goddamn. I actually canceled the first screening right after I finished it because I watched it all the way through. I already had the screening date booked before I finished it, And I watched and I canceled the first screening.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I can't show this to everyone.
remember him texting me. He was like, I don't think I can do this.
Between when you would have shown it and you did.
I think I had to sit on it a little. I think honestly, and like it sounds pretentious, but I think it was postpartum a little bit. It was just like, it was out there, it was done, and I was just like, I wasn't quite what I expected, and I don't know, like if you ever experienced that with like maybe like scripts or whatever, but like sometimes I don't know, I finished and I hated it. I was depressed. I hated myself. I was like, this is stupid. Why? I just wasted 8 months of my life.
It's like a pregnancy.
Yeah,
for 8 months.
it really is. Again, it sounds like.
Except there's not many women like once the pregnancy's over. Like, I just wasted 9 months.
I think that's postpartum depression.
Like I can't show this to people. It's got blood all over it. It's crying.
Yeah, it's ugly as shit everywhere.
We'll fix it in post. When a baby gets born, you fix it in post.
No, I mean what I meant when you finished it. And then you're like, I got to cancel the screening so I can push it off a little bit. And then you rescheduled the screening. Yeah. How much did the movie change from when you were finished with it? Did you go in and revive it a couple more times before the actual screening, or could you have released it on the day you wanted?
I could have. I did tweak it a little bit. I cut a little bit more fat off of it, so it was a little bit shorter. But it stayed the same mostly. I really think I just had to like.
Decompress?
Decompress, sit on it a little bit.
Show it to a couple people that laughed and made you go, okay, people can
Yeah,
watch
exactly. Because I'd only showed it to like maybe 2 other people besides myself, and I was just like...
Well, you're sick of it.
Exactly. I was sick of it doing it too. I was just...
Yeah, I know that feeling from with the show, with doing that show, with the episodes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the time you're doing it, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, you're ready to move on to the next thing. But then it's just like, you can't move on to the next thing till like you've done this.
That's great. Do you wish that you recast any? I guess you can't say stuff like that, but you know.
No, I'm pretty happy with, I guess like, my only thing too would be like maybe get more people involved, because I made it. I try to keep it like as small a group as possible. But then
the sound matched, the lighting matched, all the things matched that you needed to match up in editing, and
mostly. I mean, like I will say, like again, I have no idea what I was doing. So like, audio maybe isn't consistent all the way through.
What makes you think I can do this when you have no idea what you're doing? Like that's like,
delusion and crazy. I don't know.
Exactly. Like, what makes you think, oh, I can make a movie? Like, how hard can? And then you
the
don't,
same thing that makes you say I could do stand up.
Well, I mean, you like. Did you look into it at all? Like, what's the normal route of doing this?
I don't know what the normal route is. I think most people just go to like film school or whatever.
But it's different than when you were maybe Decareaux's age, Tom. Like, I mean, I'm going to make a movie requires back then. They're like, I need funding or all this. But it's like it's easier to do now. So.
Yeah,
we have. I guess it is the camera.
You got your own cameras, you know. You got. I mean, it's like
editing.
I didn't get actors. I just had like comics from the scene too. It's like
yes, but now have you worked with real actors, or do you?
No.
I wonder what the difference is.
I'm sure there's a lot more drama involved.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I took theater, and I know actors too, but I took like theater and stuff. It's just a different breed, you know what I mean?
Neil's an actor though, so I mean
that's true, but not all of them. But Neil's also a comic too, which kind of like you know what I mean, just like
it makes him chill.
Yeah,
I mean,
levels him out.
Guy, so.
I don't know. I was pretty amazed by like the level, like that, like the girl from Single Drunk Female, like when she was acting, and I'm standing there as a bartender, and I'm trying to do a thing with her. I just watching her do other things. It's another
red, yellow, leather, yet
it's
yellow,
another level.
Yeah.
And you just feel like an idiot.
Oh no, acting is hard. I don't know.
Taking acting classes would be like, okay, you should stick with it. But I remember being like, these people care about this.
Yeah, they go all in. Yeah.
But I think comics have some natural timing and stuff. It's about not looking at not getting scared by the camera, right?
Yeah. And then also too, I feel like part of what makes actors like good at acting or whatever is like I feel like they take themselves very seriously in a lot, because you got to if you're playing like a certain character or whatever. I feel like a lot of comics are like the opposite. You know, it's like, you know, it's silly, everything's a joke or whatever.
Right.
Which made your role in that show, Tom, people liked. So, didn't you get asked to go back after you did it?
But I don't. When they did the next season, I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I don't know if they had a different guy doing me or if they were no longer in a bar.
They killed you off screen.
Yeah.
Died in a plane crash.
Shot in an altercation.
Died in a beer fire.
Yeah.
It was like I was supposed to be a bartender in Boston, but I have a southern accent. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. What if that's how you figured out you got killed off in the show? Like you're just in the middle of your scene, and then you see an obvious double, like the back of their head, but it's a wig that looks like your hair, and then just a.
Well, the pilot episode was a black bartender, was a young black guy, like a 30-year-old, you know, and then her love interest ended up being another black guy, sort of similar age.
So they picked him to be the.
My impression is that he either turned the gig down last minute, or they were like, these two guys look too similar, you know, so we need somebody different, and then, you know.
They went with the complete opposite of a young black man.
Yeah, they were like, let's make him an old white dude, bartender, a Boston bartender from the South.
Where can we watch that? I haven't watched. It's on Hulu, right?
I don't know where it is, to be honest.
That's so crazy that you don't know where you are on the show.
Paramount Plus.
Okay.
It's like one scene, probably. No, it's more than one scene, but it's a couple. But anyway, I think as comics, we learn to pretend to be ourselves.
Yeah. So or some extension of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you? How are you at acting?
Horrible. I think I'm horrible at acting.
Yeah? Did you act in? You acted in this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Pulled the Tommy Wiseau, you know.
No, I don't know. What does that mean?
You don't know Tommy?
Dude, I know. But I can tell you this about Tommy Wiseau. I hate his voiceover work. Right?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love, there's one scene in the room where he adds an S. No, it was like a promo he was cutting. He added an S because he forgot to say the plural of something. So he said, like, go ahead and tell your friend, I guess. He goes, go ahead and tell your friend. But he went back and dubbed the S in, so he goes, tell your friend. And it's like, obviously not.
Why wouldn't they just dub a whole new word in? They took an S?
Because he's notoriously insane, Tom. They would like do one scene over and over and over again, and then if one was terrible, he'd be like, "Oh, we can't reshoot. We reshot this one all day. We don't have any more time. So that's how it goes." Yeah. And then it gets pushed down to the guys in post.
Well, if you've had that many takes, you got something, right?
Yeah. Or like you said, just do the whole sentence over again.
Yeah, you just
like,
do it in post. You can literally
dub it over. Yeah.
You can do it into your phone and voice message it.
Friend. I loved it. I lost it when I heard that.
I can't believe you can name a piece of voiceover from some actor that I don't even remember the guy's name, and I just referenced it.
That's what I loved. I can't tell you who's the quarterback of
Tommy Wiseau.
Wiseau, I think is how you say it.
And you remember some obscure outro thing?
He remembers like all kinds of just like quotes, random trivia. It blows my mind sometimes.
I love that stuff, dude. Friends.
It's so interesting how much you guys know, like the actors and the movie people and the blah blah blah. So yet
I think it's just a form of autism.
Yet you know all that. Yet when you're like, it's time to make a movie, you're like, then I didn't know nothing about it. It seems like you would have looked into that a little bit. Like
You'd think.
It's almost like a disrespect for movie making.
I think you're grilling him right now. I'm just you're like Jimmy Kimmel. He's like, so tell us about your new movie. I bet you didn't know how to direct.
Yeah. Shouldn't you have gone to school? Shouldn't you be more professional? Shouldn't you know what you are doing?
I'm just having a comfortable conversation.
Yeah, you're Jiminy Glick, but you're not.
I don't even care if anybody's watching. Just literally, this is how I would ask him anyway. Like
that's fine. I mean,
it's so disrespectful to movie making to be like, I can do it. I don't even need to look into it or read a book or read something.
You'd think so. I mean, again, it's not like I don't know. I mean, I've read like books about movies. It's not like I was like, I think, you know, it's like
YouTube on how to make a movie for dummies or anything.
You know, if I had a question or if I was looking for a specific thing, sure, you know, I'd watch a video.
You're like a guy that was like, you know, I watch a lot of baseball. I can tell you, I can tell you most of the guys on every roster. So you know what? I'm going to go play today. You know what I'm saying? I think I can do this. It's going to take me, you know, a few more months than I thought. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, but see, my logic was just like, you know, I always like, you know, I do like screenwriting or whatever. I do want to do stuff like that, you know. So it's just like the logic was like you got to start somewhere, you know what I mean? So like even if it is like shit or whatever, it's like
right. You
got to have a practice run.
Why wait?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just, you know.
Also, you can tell in a lot of the parts of the movie, you can tell that Decareaux loves movies. Like, there's parts where it's like, oh, this reminds me of whatever.
I have to love movies to recognize that he loves movies? You know what I'm saying? Do I need to know?
I like to think
Johnny Wynette
I
or whatever
hope not.
Johnny There's no Tommy
God,
Wiseau in there. Not. Hopefully not.
But you, as a fan of movies and the art of making movies, when you watch his movie, you can see his love of being you can see his love of the art.
And like his love of B horror and stuff like that.
Bee horror, like the bees attack, like killer bees.
It's like no, it's just like low budget.
It's so funny how you're the one more closely to
I don't know
the
what you know and what you
know.
don't know. Honestly,
Tom's the one with the most like actual experience in the business.
I think that actually is a movie though.
I'm allergic to bees. This is awful. This is a horror movie. Yes, like when the bees attack, that could be it. Now, I'm sorry, I interrupted you with my bee comedy.
Your bee bit.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I was just saying it's funny how you're the one more closely connected to this world because you've worked on sets and you've written scripts and you don't know what B movie is.
That's true.
Yeah, I know what B-roll is. Like you shoot B-roll, and yeah, I know what a B movie like. It's like a B room in comedy or a C room. But I don't know. I don't think I can name B horror movie. Like I don't know what's considered a.
Like the Black Lagoon, kind of like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
I feel like that's a little bit more than.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit more production value to. It had a big studio behind it. I feel like B horror is more like it's like low budget, kind of like new filmmakers kind of thing, just like experimenting, trying just like whatever they can get away with, like with a budget of like you know $30,000 or whatever.
Okay.
How much did you pay for this movie,
What's your
Decareaux?
budget?
Maybe like $70.
Really? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so the most expensive part will be paying to get it to get submitted to. Are you going to submit to
I don't
B
think
horror
so.
movie stuff? Why not?
I don't know. Again, it's like so you know, it's like you the set thing. You wouldn't submit like your first set of jokes. You first time baking a cake, you wouldn't enter that into a baking competition.
That's sort of what I meant when I was sort of joking around about
Yeah.
what was your first set? Like how good? Like you're like I'm
no,
really happy.
exactly. Well, see, that's why I just wanted to do it. I didn't do it with the aims of like trying to get it into it. I just wanted to do it. That was the point of just to do it. So the festival thing, I mean, people have said I should, but
Why not take a couple shots at least? You know what I mean? It's like submitting your tape to some comedy festivals. You know?
Yeah, but your first little taping, your shaky camera in the bar open mic.
Yeah,
you guys on the apps?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like I feel like it's a little different. But also, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So
I feel like film is different. Like people aren't going to be like, "Oh, I remember this guy." You know?
Yeah.
Like comedy, maybe more so, but
yeah.
Huh.
I say do it.
So from the higher ups, Elon Musk. What do you know about Elon Musk? Like when I say Elon Musk, what pops into your head?
I think I got 2.5 words, I guess.
Not as good as Dick Cheney.
Apartheid Iron Man. That's what I think of. Apartheid Iron Man.
Like he's an Iron Man that uses.
No, he's like he kind of reminds me of Iron Man, but like you know comes from like his dad was like an apartheid mine owner or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really
mine or something.
Yeah,
I don't know if he owned the emerald mine.
You know, he didn't, but his
emeralds.
family did. Yeah.
That seems to be so far. That's 2 for 2 on people that don't like him for his dad's emerald mine.
I mean, I don't dislike him for it. Yeah. I just like it's just a thing.
You know, he comes from evil, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right.
But you know, I feel like a lot of people come.
When do you think you first? What's like? When did you first start hearing of Elon Musk?
Oh man.
And do you care anything about him?
The Elon Musk expert. I don't. I mean, I care. I feel like I first heard of him like maybe 6, 7 years ago. I feel like that's when he popped up on my radar.
Started popping off.
That's when I discovered Elon.
Yeah, I think that's about fair. Like, it seems pretty quick for them to be writing a 350-page biography.
Yeah. Well, also, he invented a PayPal or something, right? That's like his company or
something to do with PayPal. That's kind of what I know too. Like, it's like somehow he was invested in that.
Yeah.
He made a bunch. What I know, right? He made my story about him is he made a bunch of money on PayPal, and he's a super genius. And then he started started an electric car company. I'm sure there's 4 companies in between that. And proven that he's a good scientist. I don't even know if he is. I don't know.
I don't think he's a scientist. I think he's just like, I think he's an idea guy with a lot of money.
Community? Okay.
That's what I think. Again, I don't know anything, but I think he's just like, he has a lot of money, and I think he's good at like thinking outside the box.
And he has ideas, and then he hires people to implement those ideas.
I think so. Kind of like Steve Jobs, you know.
Right.
Just like Steve Jobs didn't invent any of that shit. He just like, he tripped balls and just be like, Wozniak, make this for me, you know, and that was pretty much it.
I think it was a little bit more than that.
I think that's in a nutshell.
Right, yeah.
What do you think about him as a movie maker?
Steve Jobs. Wait, who?
Yeah, Steve Jobs.
He made movies?
I didn't know he made movies.
He's the one who basically built Pixar.
Oh, I think I have heard that actually. I think I did know that.
Like all those movies, all the Toy Story, like that all comes like he's the one who sort of when he got ousted from Apple, he
saved Pixar, right?
Well, Pixar was sort of already doing a thing, and he also went in and was like, this is way better than what everybody else is doing. And then he did the thing of becoming the CEO and the salesman, and you know, and then helping it grow into what it was, to where basically they became Disney's.
He's kind of like a Rick Rubin.
Department. Like he was fucking. It was. I didn't even know that until I read the Walter Isaacson biography on him.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to that. And so it's like, so he was. That's what I mean. Like I want to figure out like what are our stereotypes of this guy, and then when I read this, it'll be different. So
I do think he's kind of a. I mean, based off his Twitter or whatever, or X or what, he's a little bit of an edgelord.
What do you mean by edgelord?
He's just sharing like edgy memes, like that's kind of like you know cringy, dark humor memes or whatever. But I will say people are mad at him for like fucking up Twitter. I'm so glad he did that. I am pro X or whatever. Okay. Because I hate it. I hate Twitter. It's a fucking shithole of the worst of humanity.
And I felt like it definitely brought out the worst in me. So that's why seriously, it did. Like I found that's the only things that really got responses from people, right?
Yeah.
So it was like I fed into that a little bit, and then it was like, and then I would just try joke writing, and nobody cares about joke. And then when I started when I suggested to Trump that he should put a gun in his mouth, that's when they suspended me, and I took that as the opportunity to cancel.
You'd be fine on Twitter now.
Yeah, I just cancel. But yeah, it wasn't, but other people that I was friends with were like, dude, I get all my news from Twitter because it's happening live. This is the most reliable source there is.
That's not good.
And, you know, and he's like, he used it as his jumping off point for everything. One of the writers on the show with me, and he was like, it's just great. All the information's there, blah, blah, blah. So
literally every other website has all that too.
I don't really care because I don't use it either way.
You get your Yahoo news, don't you, Tom?
From Canada.
Yeah.
It's
Canadian Yahoo News.
I do. My computer somehow thinks I'm a Canadian.
And
my Yahoo, when I go to YouTube, it gives me the Canadian sort of suggestions.
My laptop thinks I'm English. Like, like autocorrects every English word into like the British version or whatever.
Your trash is called bin. Put it in the bin. I was like,
bin.
why does yours say
Color.
bin?
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
and you don't know how to change it.
I don't know how to change it.
That's how I am with the Canadian thing. They were just talking to me like I was an idiot.
Trendy hypothesized that you got your computer and it was asking you where you located, and you lied because you're a conspiracy theorist. Like, I want them to know where
I
Paranoid.
wish you'd have had that on tape, dude. Because that's so true. He was like, you thought that they were trying to get your information, so you made up a thing, and now all your stuff is all your
Canadian.
Googles. It's all Canada.
I do that too. I lie about my. I say I was like born in like the '60s or something like that.
Yeah, I went the other way. I was like, I added 10
2001.
years. Yeah. Yeah. You did well. You did that so you could get onto sites and stuff when you were younger.
I still do it though. That's the thing. I just never grew out of it. I still think I'm 16.
I have a different birthday on things when they ask me my birthday, like on Facebook. I just make one up. So it's like, and so every now and then I'll get like a happy birthday on some random date, and I'll be like, it's not my. And so obviously Facebook has notified somebody that it's Tom's birthday on September 23rd or whatever
It's not
made up date I had at that time.
I don't like that they know my fake birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know my fake birthday. Why would other people know it? That's not right. They remind me of my fake birthday. But yeah, so he was right about that. So James is pretty harsh on him. He said he's a billionaire, so he's an awful person.
Automatically evil.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though, because I feel a certain way about like billionaires. Do you feel that the billionaires, the Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezos, do you feel they are obligated to solve all the world's problems?
I don't think they can.
Exactly.
But it's not really. I don't think that our system should be producing those necessarily. You know what I mean? And I think that they should be. They're heavily taxed for it. You know what I mean? Do you really need that much money? I guess you do if you're going to be like, I want to, because there is some point too where it's like if you take away their money, then they can't do the thing to be like, oh, I'm going to go figure out how to go to outer space because they don't have the money to. Now I don't have the money to build an AI robot fleet for everybody to have. So. I don't know where the line is. I don't really know.
I don't have money to not solve problems.
Huh?
Now I don't have the money to not solve real problems now. It's like, I don't know. That's just my take.
Also,
I could be wrong.
I mean, like, again, I agree with you. Like, the system shouldn't produce people like that. But also, like, at the same time, history has always produced people like that, like insane. Who's the richest guy in the world ever? What's his name? You'd know. He's like a
Rothschild.
No, he's like an African king.
Yeah, he had like if you did now like inflation, I think he had like $1 trillion.
Yeah, it was like from like over 1,000 years ago. It's just like there's always like just people with like insane amount of money or whatever.
Like Rockefeller, the Barons.
Yeah,
Barons,
but even so, like Carnegie and stuff like that too. Like again, like these guys are assholes or whatever. But like without like these guys, I mean, the public library wouldn't be a thing. We wouldn't have public museums.
Mansa Musa ruled over the Mali Empire in the 14th century.
But
that's gotta suck being the richest guy back then. They're like, oh, I don't have diarrhea. I'm so rich.
I mean, back then, that's pretty good, though.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking good.
That was your only advantage.
Yeah, I don't have dysentery.
Just not having diarrhea.
I didn't have to drink my own piss today. This is awesome.
The peasants all do. Yes, they can tell them to eat piss.
Eat piss.
Yeah, I think then it was like, oh, I am so rich, I have guys hired to, well, probably not hired, but to bring rocks from outside to air condition my house.
Yeah, did you ever see History of the World Part 2 or whatever?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Wait, the new one or the old one?
The old one.
Yeah.
Where they're playing chess and the piss boy, they'd call over the piss boy. Piss boy! Run over with like a bucket for them to piss in. And then the piss boy would have to run away with the piss bucket to the next guy that wanted to piss in it.
Yeah, in order to have like the stuff you have today, you have to make someone's life miserable back then.
I mean, you got to make someone's life miserable today, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but in different
even with like
ways,
a phone, like some Chinese girl had to
make
live
everything.
A life full of misery just for you to text your friend.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's also they're creating a working class over in China, right? Of people that the wages are going up.
Suicide nets. The working class needs suicide nets.
Somebody gets
also, who's telling you that it's growing?
Hey, there's somebody that has a job making suicide nets that is very lucrative.
Is that like a real capitalist now? You've been reading too much of that Elon Musk book, Tom. You've gone full red.
I'm thinking about getting into the suicide net.
The suicide net racket.
Yes. They sit around like basketball players.
Yeah.
What net in that one? Look at that.
Just like people fall in it and get caught and you go, look at the craftsmanship on that.
Saving lives. Damn it. This ruins my whole fun of it.
The irony, they have the suicide nets at the suicide net factory.
At least they're not drowning themselves like that poor dolphin.
Yeah.
But before you came in, he was telling me a story about a lady that was having sex with a dolphin.
Jesus.
You ever hear about that?
And during its training, and because she had sex with it, once they made her stop having sex with it, it got so depressed that it drowned itself.
That's horrific. That's the most horrific thing I might have ever heard.
Yes, they have a movie coming out with her father, that her father wrote. It's called Flip Her Off.
I wondered why you brought that back up. I was like, he's gonna try a joke.
He's doing the joke
until just then. But
yeah, okay.
That's the stupidest joke. It was much funnier in the back of my brain when I thought it was like messed it all up. Anyway,
you brought Shamu to this family.
Yes.
That reminds me.
Shamu.
Yeah,
I saw this movie recently. It's a movie I'm telling everyone about. It's an old movie, but it's like the thing I'm obsessed with right now. It's called.
What got you obsessed with it?
It's called Grizzly Man. It's like a documentary I'd heard about. Have you heard?
Yes. I'm old enough that I remember when this came out.
Yeah.
My buddy Jamie Lissow used to have a joke. This will show you how old it is, because it's not. It was before we weren't allowed to do jokes like this, or why we didn't. You wouldn't want to anymore. But he said, yeah, that Grizzly Man. I watched the movie. The Bears actually put out a movie. Theirs was called "This Gay Guy's Starting to Annoy Me." I watched the movie from the Bears' perspective. That gay dude's starting to annoy me. That movie is horrible.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
What sticks out to me about that movie, I don't know. We'll get to what you are, but you brought it up. So
I know. I want to talk. I want to. Yeah.
The thing that stands out to me that makes him the most horrible human being possible is the girl that loved him.
Yeah.
And her biggest fear
is bears.
Is being attacked by bears. Like
it's a rational fear.
Like, how would you even I don't know one person whose biggest fear is they're being attacked by bears. Like, to sort through to find somebody that's their biggest fear.
Yeah. And
then have her fall in love with you, and then bring her to bears.
Okay,
and then they eat her. Holy fuck! What a.
That's fate. But also,
that's just like, that is the.
You have to put some responsibility on her.
Yes,
it's true.
She was an adult. You know, she wasn't like young. She wasn't a dumb 20. She was like in her 40s or whatever. She was late 30s, early 40s. She's an adult. She's a grown woman. You know what I mean? She chose to live in the summer with this idiot.
I'm way too caring of this woman.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even.
You're showing a little too much empathy there, Tom. I need you to dial it back.
It's just like, it's so ironic that she says it's my biggest fear, and then he takes her to be around the bears, and then she starts to get over a little bit. Yeah. And they're living amongst the bears, and then.
She wanted to break up with him too. Apparently, like the entire time, she's like, "This is it. Once we get back, we're done." You know, and she. It's crazy too, because I was watching it.
He's a nut job.
No, he is. He's a. I think he's like actually like bipolar or something. But so it's like the 13th summer or whatever. They're supposed to leave. They go to the airport to like go back to California.
I can't believe I have no empathy for this guy.
I mean, you're not the only one, because they talk to other people and they kind of like, fuck this dude. He's like, they even talked to one of the tribes, like someone from like one of the like Native Alaskan tribes, and he's like, he crossed a boundary my people have learned to respect for 7,000 years. It's like, I have no sympathy for him.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to go back to California. It was like the last day they're supposed to go back, but a TSA agent was like questioning the validity of his ticket, so he's just like pissed off, and he went back into the wilderness with his girlfriend, like back with the bears or whatever.
Past like the season when
yeah, because he was supposed to go back by September, but like he was just like getting bullshit with his ticket, so he was like, "Fuck society, I'm going back with the Bears."
So this is Bin Laden's fault?
Yes, yeah, in a weird way it is.
Wow.
He's a victim of 9/11.
Yeah, he really.
Bear man.
Yeah, another victim. Let's add it on.
Yeah.
Oh, count the bear too. They killed that bear.
Did they find the bear?
Yeah.
SEAL Team 6
But they
got
believe
the
it's the bear because like the guy, his pilot or whatever, came to pick him
They
up.
found some jewelry of hers in the bear's fecal matter.
Yeah. The bear's just like eating a rib cage when he landed or
When
whatever.
they landed in
just
the
like,
compound the bear was in.
Yeah.
SEAL Team 6 got him.
I remember in the movie. They obviously don't show that, but I think what they do is they show somebody listening to it on headphones, so they don't play it for us to hear, right?
They don't play, yeah. They just show the director.
They show somebody watching it.
Yeah, the director. And he's like halfway through. He's like, turn it off. It's like I can't finish it. He's like they gave the tape to one of his ex-girlfriends or whatever, and he's just like, you have to destroy this. You never listen to this. Never let anyone else listen to this. Destroy it right now because.
Would you destroy it right then?
Nah, I don't know if
Werner Herzog told me to, that voice.
The director. He's like a German director. He's like a famous German director.
You need to destroy this tape immediately. I would do it. I'd be like, sure, Werner Herzog.
You know the director?
Yeah.
He's like a famous director.
Old Vernie baby.
That's insane. I can't even believe you know this movie.
Grizzly Man?
Yeah.
It's like it's famous. It's like a famous documentary.
It's a big movie.
Okay. But it was sort of, it had a little bump like 20 years ago, right? It's an old.
Well,
it's old.
the reason why I was just going through all of the Werner Herzog. I was just watching a bunch of his movies.
So did he go on from there to make a bunch of great stuff? That's how we know him, or was he?
No, he made a bunch of famous movies back in like the 70s and 80s with like a lot of German actors and stuff. And then he's kind of pivoted into like documentaries. And
was he making hit documentaries before Grizzly Man, or did Grizzly Man sort of put him on the map?
I think he had one famous one before.
Okay, so this was one of his.
This is like a maybe second or third one.
Huh. Would you want to make documentaries?
If it's something I really like, something I find really interesting. I think in my mind though, I would rather like make it like a fictionalized version of like a real thing.
So lie.
Huh?
So you want to lie?
Embellish, not like lie, but just like.
What you mean, like
because you can't put jokes or
Stuart and Todd's the serial killer thing, where the guy was killing gay men in Indiana or whatever, and then they some of the story that they've unfolded, the connection to another serial killer, which is odd, and then a guy that sort of trained both those serial killers, and talked them into doing what they're doing so that he could get pictures of the guys in sexual positions too as they're being murdered and all this kind. So it was all this weird stuff, and it would be a great series to be based on this story and then fictionalized, because you don't necessarily have all the proof that ties it all together, to get the guy convicted.
Yeah, real pain is a really fun thing to make, not real.
There's pain everywhere, though. I feel like everything's got pain, like a pain element,
Oh, I feel like you're right. Like, it's kind of morbid, but when I hear the story, I'm like, this is like the Star Wars of serial killers.
Serial killers.
That's what the family members said too.
Yeah, well,
this needs to be a movie.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure they want the story told.
In this particular case, I do think it does, just because it does cross into some of that too, of who were we having a conversation with about? A guy in the green room that I was working with on the ship. He brought up serial killers, and they're killing women, and it was like, nah, there's even the police cared. You think they cared almost less about prostitutes? They cared almost nothing about
gay men,
prostitutes, or gay men that were being murdered, and they were easier to get off those cases all the way up to judge and mayors and blah blah blah, because those guys would rather know that people are getting away with murder than at the time to say I'm gay as a mayor, or I'm gay as a police chief, or blah blah blah. So there was a lot of stuff that was helped to be overlooked and not cared about to even investigate things. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, talking about like the more there's an argument over the Dahmer. They did a Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix, and there was a lot of backlash because people thought it was, you know, taking advantage of, like, you know, families.
Kind of glorifying.
Yeah, glorifying like this.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a weird documentary to watch because it's like it's sickening. It's all that kind of stuff. And then, but at times you're like, come on, Jeffrey, go follow him out. This guy loves you. You know, like you forget for a minute. Like,
yeah.
Like then you're sort of rooting for him to not kill you.
To be a good person.
And to turn it around with the guy who can share himself with. You know, like, and you even know that's not going to happen. But it was weird to have like a moment of sympathy, rooting for this human being to not do these terrible things anymore.
Yeah, which also brings it, like, should you paint horrific people in a sympathetic light? You know what I mean? Like, I watched this one. It was like
I think so. I think you got to show that there's a humanity in it too, so it shows that
I agree.
We all have this evil in us. We all have this. Not that we have that level of evil,
sure,
but on some scale, they represent us, everybody, you know. And so they're gonna have a range of, like, look how cool he was, look how much loving he is to his daughter, and then he's off murdering dudes or whatever. You know what I mean? There's something about that humans can do that is weird.
Yeah. I saw this. It
Makes
was like
it scarier.
Yeah, for sure. I saw this, like, it was like a directors roundtable. It was just different directors, some video, and they were like asking him questions, and they said, "Would you make a Donald Trump biopic movie?" And all of them were like, "No," because
that's crazy.
You would have to paint him in, like, he's like the main guy, so he has to be like sympathetic on some level. And they couldn't bring themselves to paint Trump in a sympathetic or even human light.
Well, don't you have to sort of help explain why he has a connection with people?
Yeah, I think you would. I mean, I'm not saying that's how I feel, but it's just how these other guys
like the money thing, like him having money, Musk having money, like whatever. Nobody should have that much, but that's our system. That's our system. So our system is either our system or it's not. Like, our greed is. Like things like greed and fame and blah blah, blah, those are our virtues isn't the right word, but if the United States was a person, those are the main things of our characters. Greed is awarded, chasing fame is awarded, at all costs, whatever it takes to win it. That's the things that we hold up as our ideals and what we take pride in. So we can't be like, they're evil. That's our thing. We're all that. They represent, you know?
So it's like every country's evil, though, you know?
Are they?
I think so. I think every country has, like, some really fucked up thing in there.
So you think it's just humans?
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
Yeah.
What about the Swiss?
Weren't they like a colonial power or something?
Probably,
didn't they fuck up a bunch of, like
everybody
a country in
played
Africa?
A hand in fucking over Africa. Yeah.
Swiss aren't clean.
Yeah, everybody's got something.
Everybody's got something.
They got some holes in their resume.
Yeah.
In their cheese.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey.
Come on.
Hey now.
Hey now. Hey now.
What is your favorite U.S. president?
That's a good question.
Huh.
And why? Change gears here.
I feel like Lincoln's a good one.
It's kind of as a good one. It's kind of a basic answer.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'll go off his movies or books I've read. So I read the first Roosevelt.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Crazy.
His was a two-parter. His bio.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's done so much shit. He's like
crazy how much he did.
Yeah, an insane person. Just crazy. He was crazy. I mean, just like the amount of shit he had to have been crazy.
It's like, oh yeah, thanks for busting up monopolies in the national parks. Ugh, the whole Native American thing a little fucked up, but other stuff, thanks. Yeah.
But also, Teddy wasn't even the worst one with the Native Americans, though.
Yeah. No, and he's no Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. Jax is crazy too.
That's a
Jackson
crazy person.
He went after the banks too, so he had. I had a little bit of like for him when in my days of like the Federal Reserve is, you know. Andrew Jackson sort of broke up the bankers and some of that, you know, and so those guys I liked, and then I guess
you like old Hickory.
Old Hickory. He beat one of his would-be assassinators with a cane. Some guy came up to him and shot him, and he just started beating him with his hickory cane. And other senators had to pull him off of his would-be killer because he was going to beat him to death.
I think he just let him beat him to death.
I think so too. I just let him do it.
Didn't he also? He also killed someone in a duel, didn't he?
Yeah, he killed a lot of people in duels. He loved to duel. He had I think six or eight bullets in his body when he died.
He's like Iron Man.
Crazy.
Yeah, he would just tank the bullet. Like, you'd shoot him, he would just tank it and murder you.
I'll give you a free one.
Wow. I don't think he's like the 50 Cent of. He should be on the 50 Cent page.
How many men?
Curtis Jackson, Andrew Jackson. I think something about having your name be Jackson.
Jackson.
You take a bullet. Let's shoot Reggie Jackson and see how he holds up.
Shoot Randy Jackson, see how he does.
Yeah.
I get like just looking at they're all this, you know, they're all liberal. Like, you know, I think of Jimmy Carter.
He's a good one. He's kind of a nerd.
Thank you, Tom.
They say he wasn't a great president, but that's just because people wouldn't listen to him. He tried to do the right thing to start us on what should have been doing with energy. In the 70s, you know.
A lot of people don't like the good presidents. Like John Adams was a good one. No one really liked him.
Yeah. I like, because he passed the Alien and Sedition Act, which
is
like,
true. That is
like, I don't like what you're saying, cancel free speech.
That is true.
In his defense, he was canceling sort of the Fox Newses of the world.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't do that.
And that's when that's when Jefferson and those guys really turned on him.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, he sort of gets a bad rap, but other than that, he was pretty good. And then somehow I like Clinton, even though his policies, some of them I just hate that he brought him. He was really a Republican.
Yeah, you just like him as a guy, because
I don't know why.
You can like a president as a character or as a like, you know, you just like their life or whatever, and not like the shit they do.
I liked some of his social policy. I don't, you know, what they ended up doing with imprisoning people and stuff.
Tom's a big fan of the crime bill.
Crime bill.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of
the crime bill.
Well, I think that they instituted a new version of Jim Crow through the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was watching on. Did I tell you this already? I was on the ship, and there was an old. There was some sort of documentary, a show on Johnny Cash. I'm Johnny Cash. Right?
Oh yeah. No, you didn't tell me this.
And they show show some of the footage from Folsom Prison. You know, which is a famous album that he put out that he recorded in Folsom Prison, and it's almost all like just white dudes in the prison, and it's like, oh wow, the prisons used to be very different.
Yeah.
You know, and then in the 70s and then through with Clinton, all through Clinton reinforcing it, it's just
interesting.
Our prisons are.
It's a diversity bill, you know.
Yeah, but this was
affirmative action for prisons.
It worked as a way to keep black people down.
Yeah,
it's another. It's great.
I thought that had just been the thing.
You know?
I thought they had been doing that since like segregation, or since the end of slavery.
Basically, that's what I mean.
Okay.
And then Jim Crow came, so they didn't really have to fill the jails, but there was a time right around the 70s where they were debating the debate was between we may be moving away from the prison system and our ideas of how prison rehabs people, you know, and having less prisons and going more towards a more liberal way of fighting. You know.
I don't rehabilitation.
Know that I don't know that work either. But there was and then we just went the total other way and just filled the prisons mostly on the drug charges, and it comes down to where they, especially in the Clinton era, and sort of that's where they were rewarding people with war on drug money based on drug arrests and length of prisons and all these kind of things where they started militarizing the police forces and blah,
like
blah, blah.
incentivized them,
And they did all that by just flooding police into poor black communities as opposed to who were doing drugs on this less or on the same rate as white people were doing in the cul-de-sacs. But the enforcement wasn't on that end. It's always been on the other end. And plus, because there's more people in smaller areas, so that's easier to increase your budgets by arresting more and more, you know. So
you guys should look into like prohibition stuff, like back in the 20s, 30s, but like that's basically the first war on drugs. Like it's insane. Like a lot of those laws were basically just to keep immigrants, like arrest immigrants.
Oh, is that what it was for?
Yeah, a lot of it was. I mean, like,
is that why they were basically turning a blind eye? It seems like, and letting people get away with the speakeasies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like alcohol was a focal point for a lot of these cultures, and then they come over here, and then what better way to control them by arresting them and putting them in
that's why they illegalized marijuana.
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't start that way. I think Prohibition, a lot of it was like I think the Methodist Church or something, like a lot of those people were just like,
Jesus, people have been fucking up the world forever.
And then, of course, the legal people were like, oh, we'll do this, lock up those Irish, lock up those black people, lock up those whatever, so.
So that's the long answer to what he was just tried to do one quick joke about me loving Clinton's prison system.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then I liked Obama too, but then again, I also was like...
Big fan of drone strikes, Tom.
Yes, I wasn't a huge fan of that. And I think he was a Republican. To me, those guys are, they're not...
I feel like a lot of them are Republicans now, though. Like, I mean, like, most Democrats are, like, Republicans from, like, 30 years ago.
Yes. So, but, because they don't... there's no liberals.
Yeah,
I mean, there are. There's like there are.
Yeah, not winning though.
Yeah, well, some of them are. There's the group of whatever, that group of with like, what's her name? The girl out of New York.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
AOC.
Yeah.
AOC.
Yeah, so there are some, you know, and Bernie and those guys, you know. But I also used to like Ron Paul too because of the federal reason. I just like people that are like, I'm not going to do it the way you guys like. You know,
dark horse.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think anybody's done anything drastically different.
Who are you going to vote for this coming election, Tom?
No, man. I will vote. It's mostly vote against.
That's easy to choose.
Yeah, I take the lesser of two evils as far as I'm concerned. Like to me, the guy that I want to win won't win. Like I've always wanted, like
they never do.
When it was, even when Obama was running, I was like, I like Kucinich. You know, or I know he can't win, but I liked his ideas better. You know what I mean? I liked the Green Party better. I liked, you know, and I just saw, like, especially when Obama walked up there with all his financial advisors, it was like, oh, that's the same old people. That's the same money people as everybody. That's not good.
Yeah, whoever I vote for always loses. I think I have to like start voting for Republicans.
Bernie, you know what I mean? I'm like, I like the people that are like us.
Yeah.
Let's tear down the system in a way that benefits everybody instead of just the rich more, to me. But I don't think we do any of it will be worth a shit until we change how the elections are funded. And we just take all the money out of it and make it a totally different system of how we fund the elections. Because once you take the money out of it, then there's a chance that it can just be more honest, because it doesn't pay to flood money into the system.
See, I'm very cynical with like that kind of stuff, because it's just like in my mind it's like it's never gonna change. Like the prison reform, no one's gonna reform the prison system.
Somebody like an Elon Musk, and they get so rich that they're like, we were talking about this, they could. Like, let's say he is like an iron, like you were saying, he's like an Iron Man meets.
But also
apartheid Iron Man. Apartheid Iron Man.
So like that's what I mean. Like there at some point he could be like, oh, you can't use any of my satellites for your wars.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna allow that. It's too much power to have in one guy's hands.
Yes.
But
they make so much more money off.
In theory, that may be that it's something like that may be.
Yeah.
But like, you don't become a billionaire for your
humanitarian
empathy for
effort
people.
to like helping
it's not
people.
Like, Oh, I became a billionaire, and I also love people. It's like,
Yeah.
you became a billionaire. Not saying you're evil,
Yeah,
not
you're
saying
right.
you know
No,
inherently, but
yeah.
it's just
There's no
I like money.
you know.
Yeah.
But you know, that doesn't mean there can't be.
Helping people don't make you rich.
That doesn't mean there can't be someone
I mean,
that does
financially,
that. You know, that's the difference between like sort of like we were talking about with the robber barons and those guys, the Carnegies of the world, and he's saying that's why we have all the thing. Well, we don't anymore because those guys don't do that anymore because they're not. That was when, like guys like Ford and Carnegie and Vanderbilt and the Rockefeller, like they were tied to America. They still they cared about like how they went. They were, even if they were running America and they were like, we're gonna fucking do that. It was still like it was about this country.
Yeah.
Now these guys make their money from everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just, to me, it's just America's just one place where they're doing that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They're globalists.
Yeah, I was gonna say a bunch of no good globalist elites taking over.
I guess I underestimate him. I don't really feel like he's running the world. I
don't think he is
either.
either.
This guy that was like Twitter pissed him off because they blocked one of his tweets and he was like, "Fuck you, I'm
Which
buying
is
this."
kind of great, by the way. That is great.
Now,
That's like a frat boy move.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that. He wouldn't have spare money.
But then, like,
and who knows? He may invent a solar energy that, like,
that's what I mean. That's possible. I mean, exactly. I mean, the self-driving car. The fact that that's a thing now. I mean, for years that was just like that was the goal. That was the fantasy.
Right.
You know, a self-driving car. It's like, I mean, here it is now.
Would you say, would you like that's? Do you think what he'll be known for the most is something like that, or something that he hasn't even invented yet?
I mean, I was gonna say that he's still got a lot of life to live. You know, he could do something. Oh, you could also do something super fucked up. Like he could end up responsible for half the world population dying. You know what I mean? It's like he could go either way. I mean,
yes.
He might be the most infamous person in history by the time he dies.
We're not even at the act break yet.
No, dude.
No.
We still got a whole other act to go.
Mean. Why is there a 500-page biography on a guy that's still
alive and doing shit?
Said
exactly.
At least Steve Jobs was about to die.
Yeah, it seems a little early, I think.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I don't know. There's stuff about Obama. There's stuff about. I mean.
Yo, did you hear about? There's like this Canadian billionaire who would he would inject stem cells. He had a harem of like underage girls, and he would get them pregnant, and then have them have abortions and use the stem cells to inject into him to keep himself young. This is real. It sounds like an InfoWars.
This is a real story?
This is true. Yeah, this is true. Pull that up, Jamie.
Wait. We put it right there next to the dolphin one. Now listen. Seriously, this is a like. How did they? Obviously, they busted this guy.
Chris Hansen was investigating the guy.
Oh, Hansen got him. Good for him.
I don't know if he got him, but he was investigating him.
He pretended. Why don't you have a seat?
I think at this point,
instead of cookies, it's just little fetuses on the planet.
Little placenta.
Chris Hansen, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't see Chris Hansen coming at this point.
Yeah,
as a billionaire.
Oh, I would love to produce embryos for you. Meet me here.
I would feel like Chris Hansen is going there to get some of those shots himself at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, did he get in trouble for this?
I think he. I don't know if he got in trouble.
Big deal.
He actually
it
won,
should be, but these guys have so much power and stuff. You know, it's like you can get away with murder.
That sounds like something like you're right that they would be using to like in the when the people are having the debates about abortion, they'd be like, see, this is what we're talking about. Yeah. They're killing babies so they can inject their fetuses into their neck.
I would say it's also a point why abortion is cool, because stem cells are like they could fix almost anything, you know. So it's like it's like if we're taking the like stem cells from people who can't or don't want kids, you know what I mean? It's like it could help somebody who's already alive and in need of it. You know what I mean? Like stem cells could fix like all kinds of like.
I think they figured out though that they don't need the babies to get those anymore. They can I
don't think they. Yeah, I think they
cells.
Just
like. But at first, I think they really thought like that was the thing George Bush did, where he was like, we can't do any stem cell research that comes from fetuses. And then they were like, well, now we can't do it. Right? Science was like, at the time, they were like, well, then we can't do it any other way. He's evil. And we're all like, yeah, he's evil and he's stopping Michael J. Fox from getting better. You know what I mean? Like, that was a thing back then. And then it was like 3 years later, they're like, oh, never mind. We can do it with regular cells.
Really?
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
But again,
I'm going
off of that. Maybe.
I'm coming for that title there. I'm coming for that title.
I'm going to go 87% on that one, but I'm right about that.
I'm going to do 90% on the Canadian.
You're on the side of the baby killer?
No, not on the side, but just like that happened.
Yeah,
or like that's exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's something to that extent did happen.
Yeah, I used to try a joke about that, about when people like Trump will be out there like, I speak for the unborn. It's like, you speak for the unborn? You sound like a babbling newborn. You can't speak for the unborn.
He's like stuttering as he says it.
They can't speak until about 1.5 years after they're born. Like, there's like, and then it was like, if they can do that, they should have like a John Edwards, you know what I mean, that speaks to the dead. They should have a show on one.
They go around together.
Yeah, he's like, he speaks for the unborn. He's like, what does this fetus have to say? And he's like, he says, I love you, mommy. I can't wait to meet you. Just tells them shit they want to hear. I'm seeing a female. Is there a female? No, it's a male. That's what I meant. The female was saying it's a male. You know, but the baby, this one, like, what does that one say? This one says, I would like to help with stem cell research.
The fetus whisperer.
That's what that fetus says.
I can't find anything on the fetuses for this Peter guy.
The fetus whisperer, exactly.
The fetus whisperer.
Yes.
I just made that up.
So there's nothing on
you made that up? The stem cell stuff?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Well, you said I couldn't find it, so I was like,
I couldn't find anything.
Canadian, he's like, or maybe he's European.
I mean, he's got some sexual assaults ranked. He's got like 19, but
something terrible. Chris Hansen talks about it.
Oh, you found the guy?
I think this is him, Peter Nygaard. I'm being very careful.
That's him,
his name.
Peter Nygaard.
Yeah, that does sound like that's a touchy name right there.
Yeah,
yeah. I was very careful. I think maybe the stem cell thing is probably still being investigated because it does sound very conspiracy-like.
And I think he's having sex with 13-year-old girls, getting them pregnant, and then using their feet.
It doesn't say anything. Really I didn't find anything about that. He did allegedly run a sex trafficking ring.
You get the baby cow pregnant.
But it's probably delicious.
That's crazy to me. That our meat that we eat is better the younger it is.
Yeah.
If we can pull it out as a fetus from a cow, that's the great. Imagine how great a baby fetus tastes. Maybe this guy's onto something.
It's veal, I never thought of that.
It was a nice Chianti.
Yeah, veal is baby cow.
Right? Yeah. I mean, lamb is same thing.
No, lamb is an actual...
Isn't there you eat baby deer also?
A baby sheep, right?
I don't know about baby deer, but I know lamb is like, I mean, it's a baby sheep.
There's a food where it's like you put
You're right.
You eat a baby chick inside of a chicken. Like you stuff like like egg, like, you know what I mean?
That's where you cover yourself with the thing, right?
You cover yourself because like you don't want God to see you.
I heard that's a rumor. I think it's.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard that rumor.
I think the napkin over it is just so you get the smells; they don't escape.
Humans are so crazy. Let me smell this fetus, this mother pregnant with her fetus before I eat it. Let me soak in the smell.
Have you ever seen the show Faces of Death?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever seen Faces of Death?
Mm-mm.
That was a thing when I was like, that was like somebody would get the VCR tape of Faces of Death.
Oh, it's real people, like real accidents, right? Like car crashes?
Real people dying, yes.
Oh. Jesus.
And there was like, I remember like somehow the thing that sticks out to me the most is someplace, I'm going to say the Philippines, somewhere in that area, of the world, maybe Japan, something. They're sitting at a table, like let's say it's like this high, right? And there's cutouts here, like almost like when somebody's in the stockade.
Oh,
there's little cutouts, right? And they bring out live baby monkeys, right? And they put them in the thing, and they're underneath. They're like, they're screaming, and you know what I mean? And they have
I've heard about
mallets,
this.
and they fucking bash in the monkey's skull, and then they eat the monkey brain.
Yeah, I've heard about this actually. I've heard some do it alive.
That's not even the worst thing on this thing, but it's
I'm sure.
But that was the thing. Let's watch Faces of Death. But like,
yeah,
I've heard so many stories of people when they were younger.
The one
like,
that sticks out to me though.
There was one kid who had the VHS, and everybody went over and watched it, and everybody had nightmares forever.
Yeah, I don't know if it was nightmares forever, but
I think I saw Dan Soder talk about it.
That's the only thing I remember of it is the monkey.
I've heard stories like
clubbing,
kind of like that. They don't even club them. I've heard they just cut off its head while it's alive.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah,
and then just eat it.
That's just nuts, man.
Yeah. We are like the most fucked up species on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like.
Are we though?
I think so.
I feel like there's some. I feel like we're pretty equal with some other stuff. Maybe.
No other. What other stuff though?
Okay, so crabs.
Have you ever seen just a regular house cat on the loose outside in the yard? It literally tortures other animals for fun as it kills them.
So do we.
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
That's what we're saying.
Also, a lot of the bad things animals do
are equally evil.
I wouldn't say.
Can you say they're bad because it's for survival? I mean, they're like, oh, I have to do this to survive, but we don't need to smash monkeys' heads in.
Yeah,
kill the chipmunk. They're not even hungry. They got free food in here. The cat's not even eating it. It's just
wants to kill,
ripping it apart slowly as it lets it attacks it, wounds it bad enough that it can still get away a little bit, so that it can keep killing it slowly. And then it.
I mean, if you're a cat, you get bored too.
Yeah, that's true. You know what I'm saying? It'd be funny if that's what happened to cats every now and then. Like a human was like, you know what? We're going to check out how many ways you can skin a cat.
Well, they did, and their names are Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
and,
it's like it's how every serial killer trains.
Your house cat goes out and kills things in the yard, animals in
the yard. That's like open micing serial. It
really is
killing cats.
Because it's an animal. Also, the difference is like humans, like we should know better. You know what I mean? It's just like a dumb cat. You know what I mean? It's like a.
It doesn't know.
By the way, I'm just disagreeing with you for fun on some of these. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. You think I'm offended? Tom doesn't agree with me.
I'm not like, hey, we need to kill more animals. You know?
No, I'm just. Yeah, I mean, I like devil's advocate.
God, can you imagine like having people taking someone to dinner?
Yeah.
Or going out to dinner with someone and they're like, oh, you're gonna love this.
It's hibachi, but it's monkey head.
Monkey brains.
This is where we saw a live monkey's head in half and then eat the brains out of them. This is gonna be great. You're gonna love it. I'm telling you, it's delicious. It tastes just like chicken. I'm like, dude. Ugh.
Would you do it? Would you eat the monkey's brains?
No, there's not a scenario where I would eat.
Are you vegetarian?
No.
But you draw the line at monkey brains.
Especially if I have to.
Brains. You don't have to kill it. It's already dead. It's like the Indiana Jones,
fried monkey brains.
Temple of Doom. They just bring out a monkey's head with its brains sticking out.
Sorry.
Huh.
You don't have to kill it. You just.
The chilled monkey brains looked kind of good in the movie. They look like cherry
That's because it's like Jello. That's why it looks good.
That looked good.
Do we eat brains at all in any like in hot dogs and stuff? That I just don't know about it.
I feel like hot dog is just like mystery meat almost.
Yeah,
just
eating
like
lips and
I don't want to
assholes.
be all holier now and be like, I would never eat brain because I would never. No, I wouldn't. No.
Yeah. So no. What about chicken brain? Little chicken brain.
No, just using
Pop
the word,
it in like a
just
peanut.
using the word brain. No, if you come up with like, hey, this is chicken zibelas or whatever.
Oh, so you got to trick you, yeah.
Like Rocky Mountain oysters, like you know what I mean? Oh,
where Rocky Mountain oysters?
Bull testicles,
or like a bull testicles or something. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. So
I see. So you draw the line at brains. I draw the line at testicles. I won't eat testicles.
I doubt that I would eat those either. But
yeah, that feels like brains and testicles are. It's like especially kind of. Fucked
those
up.
are the kind of things you would eat drunk. Like you'd be like, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I want IHOP. I've never been like, yo, let's go get some bowl balls. I'm like, let's go get some pancakes. I am not gonna get bowl balls.
That's why I don't drink. Is what I'm saying.
If they had them at IHOP, I'm sure that's when they would get ordered. But
what if you sat down at a thing with and it was like your brother and some other people and blah blah blah, and you saw everybody's eating these. And
if it's like a cultural thing,
I
don't want to be
just
offensive.
Dip them in some ranch, and they're gonna be great.
I don't want to be like that guy and not eat the thing at like
you
the
disrespect
Indian wedding
the other
or
culture
something.
or whatever.
I would do a few I'm goods, and then I might. I don't know about at this age, but a lot of younger ages, I would have been like, all right, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I think
I'll eat a bug, maybe.
I think yeah.
I wouldn't eat a tarantula. I couldn't do a spider.
If it was like freeze dry, like dried, I'd eat a You
ever see that video of that Vietnamese woman eating the tarantulas? Like she has like a bowl of tarantulas, and she's like picking them out and just like putting them. They're still alive. She's just munching on them.
Ugh.
Too much.
And you see them like
scream.
Yeah, they're wincing. Like their legs are like it looks like a hand. Like
I don't want to put anything in my mouth that's struggling.
Exactly.
It's like why we don't eat parrots, right?
I want you to be consensually eaten, yeah.
Can you imagine eating where you're going to cook a parrot, but the parrot's like, hey, don't eat me. Hey.
I want to live.
I love you.
I have something to live for. I have children.
Yeah, I think we would eat a lot more.
So you'd eat a parrot that's like, I want to die.
It's easy to say I would never eat something when I have food pretty much available to me at all times.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat a parrot if it did a lot of parrots just do like noises. Like if it did the sound of a VHS rewinding, you couldn't eat that parrot. You couldn't eat a parrot anyway.
Could a parrot do like?
Yeah, dude.
They do sounds. Yeah.
My aunt and uncle have a parrot. Its name's Buzzy. He's awesome. He
doesn't just
imitates.
Do voices, it does sound effects. It's
yeah,
there's
other species of birds too that also do. There's like species of birds that perfectly imitate cars and do like people talking. They can do music and stuff.
There's some parrots that imitate a call of an extinct bird.
I guess you could make it listen to things over and over, and you could make it do anything.
Yeah.
Man, you get a bird and you get a pet bird that could how many of them talk? The cockatoos, they talk.
Maybe I think so. There's a lot of species that talk.
So you get some birds that talk, right? And
Talking
then
birds.
You like program them with like a Freddy Krueger voice or an alien, something like a just terrible fucking scary noises.
Yeah.
They're already kind of scary.
Yeah, but they're
because Buzzy, he'll say my cousin's name. He'll go Jacob. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I guess they don't imitate. They do imitate people's voices. They don't just speak in their own voice and use their language. They'll imitate their voice.
Yeah.
I think there's some that can.
My aunt doesn't sound like that though. So.
Yeah, when that parrot story that I told you last year.
Yeah, the monkey. Yeah.
The monkey and the parrot.
Sounds like a proverb.
Yeah. The parrot when it was yelling back and forth, it sounded like the mom when it would answer like the mom, and it sounded like the kid when it would talk like the kid.
Huh.
It was very good.
That's creepy. That should be in like a horror movie.
Yeah. Hey.
There you
next
go.
movie.
There you go.
I saw there's this movie
Polly
Annihilation. You seen Annihilation, Seth?
Yeah.
There's like a bear in the movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
That like can mimic people's screams or whatever. Like if it'll kill you and eat you, and then it'll like mimic someone scream. So like it would like be out in the woods and like doing a woman scream, and people are like, where is she? We gotta go find her. They go out in the woods and the bear would kill them.
This was
it's a movie. It's a science fiction movie, but it's crazy. That would be terrifying, though.
Did you see Cocaine Bear?
I haven't seen that yet.
Not as scary.
It's not but I was surprised how hard I laughed.
Yeah, it's a silly, happy-go-lucky movie.
It's a fun bear who just loves drugs.
It's Ice Cube's son, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but it was just a fun to watch that bear rip people apart. It was so weird.
Yeah,
it's such a that's an interesting thing to me about a movie, that it can make me see something horrible and laugh at it.
Yeah,
because the characters you don't feel bad for them because the people who got ripped up were assholes most of the time.
Also, you don't feel bad for the grizzly man either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I love that Jamie Lissow joke. That's why I love that.
It's annoying.
Yeah. This gay guy is really starting to annoy me.
Yeah.
It's such a funny flip on that. Because when I remember when it came out, it was like, there was this guy, it was...
Poor guy, the people saying that.
Yeah.
And then you watch and you're like, oh, this guy was an asshole.
I don't know if he was an asshole.
I think of it just because of what he did. You're right. The woman has some responsibility. I don't think that women should be responsible for anything. Like, you know what I mean? They should be able to do whatever they want. And always blame the man. What?
I was putting the camera just on you, so Decareaux wasn't incriminated.
Yeah. Is it true, Decareaux?
Get it all the time.
No, we were talking about the Matt Rife situation, right?
Oh, you guys were?
Yes, we've been talking about it. So
Oh, geez.
I wouldn't say situation.
Right.
Just the special came out, so
Yeah.
people are
you're
talking
not a
about it.
fan, is what I heard. And I'm
not a hater either, though.
right.
Same.
But you do think that this proves that that the whole Matt Rife phenomenon once again proves that women are wrong?
Again, I just have it on Tom right now.
Keep it on Tom here.
That's what I heard was your opinion. So that's what I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, I mean, that is my opinion. Also, I mean, look, this is a total tangent. Keep it on Tom.
Okay.
When women got the right to vote, they voted for the guy,
the best looking one,
who led us into the Great Depression. The most corrupt guy who fucked up the economy, who was like slowly building us up into the Great Depression. It was like Harding, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Warren. Old Warren.
Yeah.
Is that the first time that women could vote?
Yeah.
Huh.
1920s? Election of like 1919 or something, 1920?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
But it's weird how much hate I'm seeing about it now. Before, when people were like, everybody's got the Matt Rife hate, and I was like, there's no Matt Rife hate. There's not one person. We've talked about that before.
1919.
And then, but now it's really like, and then I saw the bit. We were talking about it earlier, like
the domestic abuse joke.
Yes.
It's not. Yeah,
It's whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think that if that bit would have happened as crowd interaction, everybody would love it. That's exactly as crowd. You know what I mean? Because
I think you're right.
Another clip the girl showed in the thing was a clip of him doing his regular. She's like, and this is what he's known for, blah blah blah. And then she shows a clip of him talking. Does anybody have any kids on the spectrum? And then a lady has a highly autistic kid, and so he does a couple jokes about autism, and then he's like, well, congratulate you. You know what I mean? And where if he would have written those jokes about an autistic kid,
Well, he probably did.
huh?
Well, I mean, you probably did if you asked.
Yeah, it sounded like the way he said it. It sounded like he's a psychic. He's like, "Do we have any autistic people in the room?" And then just like, no, I think it's like he's a. Well, it's like I mean, stand-up kind of is like I guess magic or whatever. It's like, do we have any this, that, and the third in the room? And then you have those trapdoor jokes. You have like those Puerto Rican jokes or those autistic jokes.
Yeah.
Do we have it? You know, are you poor? And then you just like, it's like. I don't know, it feels. I don't know. It's like one of those fake psychic. That's what it sounds like to me.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even think that, but I thought that writing style, like that joke written as like, here's a joke I wrote, presented that way, is going to make people go, you can't make fun of autistic kids, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening on this joke. Like, the writing style that he has is crowd work style. So if that happened in the moment, me and Seth were talking about this before. I think more people are like, I can't believe he said that.
I think you're right.
That's crazy. We know he's kidding.
Yeah.
But since it's a written joke, now they're like, it's offensive.
Yeah.
And they might not even be. It might just be a way for them to generate their own clicks, is to be like, I hate this, is offensive.
That's true.
You know.
Also, I don't think
it has made me think about a couple jokes I have that I'm like, am I overlooking my own sort of misogyny in the joke I tell that sort of has like a. I actually told it on the show last week where a lady was from Maryland, and I did you know what the state flower is? It's the black-eyed Susan, and then we kind of talked about it a little bit. Like, it's a crazy name for a flower. You give it to your girlfriend, it's like a sweet warning, you know, like.
Yeah.
That's, you know, the florist told me it goes great in a bouquet with some shut your mouth womans, you know, like it's like. And
my mom's favorite
so
flower.
the jokes are like that.
That's
it's
not
like,
a joke. She really likes.
There's a lot of Susans. There's Runaround Susan and Lazy Susan, and man, you know, it got me thinking if she wasn't out running around and being so lazy, maybe there's no black eye. And then, but then thinking about like how the people's reaction to that Rife joke, I'm like, you know, maybe that is sort of making fun of.
Yeah.
But his joke, I mean,
like, it's funny to hit women, but I don't feel like that's what I was saying. And that, but
every comedian has like a domestic abuse joke.
So it brings up this subject, and now it's got me going through like, I shouldn't say that joke then, you know. Like I wrote a joke last week about the Carolina Panthers. Like they've been badly beaten more times this year than a cop's wife. You know, it's like I feel like that makes fun of police officers that have a high rate of hitting their wife.
Yeah.
But.
You're trying to shed a light.
I think it falls
on
into both categories.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's not a joke that you should say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shouldn't
I
say.
feel like I'm on the side of the victim in both those cases.
With Matt Rife?
No, on
the Panthers and the wife.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of like not a great domestic abuse. I feel like they're cool. You could do them if it's just like,
if you have some nuance to it,
or just like, I don't know. It's like a street joke. You know, it's just like it's like a joke you tell your friends in middle school.
It did feel like just the way he delivered it felt like it's literally something that happened in a restaurant with his friend, and then he said that, and then the people around him laughed, and he was like, "That's a joke."
Yeah,
yeah. You know? But I think that if that's a joke, he would have written naturally from a crowd reaction. And
they would have liked it.
And I think it would have worked better. You know, that's all.
I was watching one of his specials on.
That's the only joke I've seen from the special. So
same, yeah. I was watching one of his specials on YouTube. This is just, I thought it was funny. Like, you know, you fast forward on YouTube, it shows you like the peaks or whatever.
Oh yeah.
All the peaks were crowd work, and all the flat spots was material.
Right.
And that's just, you know, because that's what people like or whatever.
It's interesting. Yes. Well, material's hard, dude.
Yeah. That's why no one does it.
Again, like I'm saying, like that's an example of like, if that joke is told as crowd work, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
If it's told as a joke, it's not. So writing jokes is harder because there's a higher standard then to the jokes, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know. I'm just making that argument.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think, but also
it's
too,
easy
like,
for me to say I can't do crowd work. I'm not good at it. It's too hard.
I've seen too, like, some people are like, "Oh, Matt Rife, his career is ruined," or I don't think it's that's.
He is fine.
He'll be fine.
He's gonna be fine. And also, I feel like
he is fine. That's why he's gonna be fine.
Put the camera back on Tom. I feel like women are a lot more loyal than men as far as fans go.
And
that's
marriages.
not a bad thing to say.
Is that true?
I don't disagree. Yes.
But because, like, I mean, like, they're not the same. But like Chris Brown still has a lot.
That's true.
Most of his fans are women. He beat the hell out of Rihanna. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? It's mostly women listening to Chris Brown. It's mostly women going to see Chris Brown.
Can you imagine the album that Taylor Swift would have if Chris Brown did that to her?
Oh, it'd be insane.
How does Rihanna not have a... Rihanna's a little creepy because her next 5 hits were all songs about how she likes to be hit. Yeah. It's like...
That's why they were together so long.
It's
I mean...
creepy that I'm... All right. Well, this didn't turn into an Elon Musk episode, but I enjoyed.
You were trying to make it an Elon Musk episode?
Well, I think that's sort of I was trying to use that as a jumping off point before I read it. I want to get some opinions about the book and some.
I just don't have any strong
Musk
opinions on him.
You don't have to. They don't have to be strong. I was just like you. It's interesting that he's such a big part of our culture.
Yes.
And yet I don't really know much about him.
Yeah.
I'm like, he invented cars, and he does a bunch of cool stuff at Tesla, and
rockets.
He used to be with PayPal, and he's got a daughter named X4693 or whatever, or.
So one thing
he was with Johnny Depp's wife in an elevator.
That is pretty sick. I will say that's pretty awesome too. Good for him or whatever. But like with Musk and Bezos also, like people like shitting on them for like trying to invent rockets to go to space. I think that's cool as fuck. Because NASA's not sending any more rockets.
What are you talking about? They're sending Artemis up to the moon.
Are they? But they're not doing... I thought they stopped doing moon landings.
I think they're going to bring it back.
They're actually trying to right now. They're trying to do... They haven't done moon landings since the 70s.
Exactly.
And then they forgot how to do it.
How do you forget
I don't think that
how
they
to
did not
do it?
forget how to do it. They just didn't
how
have
do
the
you
funding.
forget how to do
it?
it?
I read they lost the technology and they lost all the videos. Yes, they don't know what they're doing, so they had to restart.
The guy who used to do it retired. He quit. It's like the guy who did the salads at the
burned
restaurant
all the papers.
quit. That's not how it works.
We're not using anything that the Nazis came up with, and we had to get rid of our space program. Is what happened. Or we didn't
bring back the Nazis, damn it.
Like, what do? We lost. Stanley Kubrick took all the video with him.
Kubrick and the Nazis, they're gone. What are we doing?
But Artemis is going back to the moon. So they've had a couple launches. They had to abort a couple launches,
Gotcha.
Which they couldn't have done if they would have tried to launch in Texas. I always got to do the jokes.
That's the name of the next special. I always got to do the jokes.
I always got to do the jokes.
No matter, even if the life, even if the life, you know, Serena, my ex-wife, soon to be, I guess, or who knows.
Do you mind if I ask? Say your thing. Say your thing.
We were having a conversation last night, and she was talking about her great grandmother and who was born, and her mom died in childbirth, you know. And I had that thing happen that happens to us as comedians, where when she said that her mom died in childbirth, I wrote it. I'm in my head like I have a joke there. Dying in childbirth, you know what I mean? I had to go get my notebook and like,
let me work this out real fast.
I was like, hold on a second, and I was like, what's the better word? I'm sorry, we'll get right back to the story, but you know what I mean? And you know that's just rude as shit, right? But it's like we got to get it down.
Yeah.
So somewhere there's a joke, sort of like, you know when guys say that thing of like, we're pregnant. We are having a baby.
Yes.
And that's sort of what you're supposed to say. Like
she's pregnant with the head. I have the legs.
Yeah, we're in this together. You know who never dies in childbirth?
The dad.
The father. Right. You're not delivering a baby. There's no we.
Shot out like a cannonball.
There's 2 people that have a shot at dying in this, and one of them isn't even here yet, and you're not one of them. So just stop.
That's good.
That is good.
So that's where that came. And then it's like, okay, now back to your thing.
Yeah.
She was like, and then we finished her story.